Hey everyone, it's Michael Groff here to talk to you about your roof. With an active monsoon season expected this year, you need a name you can trust, and that's why you should call Blackstone Roofing Group for all of your roofing needs. Call for your free inspection today. Big or small, they do it all. Tile, shingle, or flat roofing, they can help, offering free inspections and more. Roofing made easy. Call 602-536-9363 or visit blackstoneroofing.com to schedule your free inspection today. And if you tell them Michael Groff sent you, they'll take $500 off the price of your roof replacement. Again, that's 602-536-9363 or blackstoneroofing.com. This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Saturday, the 12th of July. I'm Michael Groff. I've got good news, I've got bad news. Let's start with the bad news. Our break from the monsoon activity continues through the weekend and early part of this upcoming week, with dry conditions and temperatures just ever so slightly above seasonal averages. But that means there's good news, right? Yes, a significant pattern change is looking more and more likely, particularly by the latter part of this upcoming week, that should bring a return to elevated moisture levels across the Southwest. The monsoon comes back quite substantially with much higher rain chances, the potential of widespread shower and thunderstorm activity, maybe, ? We'll talk about that as we dive into modeling here in just a moment. What about temperatures too? We'll get into all of it and everything else here. First, though, the almanac from yesterday, 110 degrees the afternoon high, 90 was the morning low, 107 and 85 are the averages for this time of year. Looking outside right now, just after 9 a.m., sunny sky, 91 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew points 56, humidity 30%, the winds are light, and the barometer is steady. Satellite picture out here across the Southwest, and it's the same story, different day. We've got high pressure sitting out here just to our west, and it's an elongated ridge, and the flow around it is providing a west-northwesterly upper air flow for us here across Arizona. And that's, of course, opposite of what we want. That's just keeping that dry air. And you can see those thunderstorms that develop across the Rockies and moving into the Plain States start to move southeastward around the eastern periphery of that ridge and kind of moving southwestward over northeast Mexico. And we saw those storms fire up again last night. They did not make a much further westward progression toward the Gulf of California as they did the last couple of nights. And that's why we don't have the Gulf surge of low-level moisture here in the state this morning like we did yesterday with those dew points that were up in the low 70s in the southwestern part of the state and in the 60s here. It's a little bit drier this morning. And you can see there's that ridge, 594 ridge. It's going to continue to drift to the west, weaken a bit. We'll see the ridge reestablish itself as we go into this upcoming week north of Arizona and then setting up near the Four Corners by the latter part of the upcoming week. And that should make for a very interesting weather scenario around here, that's for sure. Here's the watch warning map, and don't look now. We've got the flood watches up again for the Texas Panhandle into much of Oklahoma. But more importantly, those same areas that got hit hard over the 4th of July under a flood watch again. The ground very saturated there. Will not take much precipitation to produce additional flooding. Again, the Guadalupe River and much of Texas, much of central Texas, just north of San Antonio and San Angelo and westward toward Midland. Obviously, some heavy rain will be possible. Now, elsewhere, the Canadian wildfire smoke is back. We've got the air quality alerts for the entire state of Minnesota and Wisconsin, much of Michigan as well. And that will drift east with time, but we will see that poor air quality up there at least through Monday. All right, convective outlook for today, the slight risk of severe storms, level 2 out of 5 for Evansville up toward Detroit and Lansing, Michigan. The broader severe weather risk extends really from New Mexico eastward through Texas and Oklahoma all the way over toward the middle Atlantic. In Arizona, maybe a thunderstorm in the far eastern part of the state today, but I really think conditions across most of Arizona will stay dry through the weekend, and then we'll start to see moisture gradually creep in as we get into next week. And speaking of, here's the precipitation outlook valid through next Saturday morning from the WPC. Rain amounts in Phoenix at the moment doesn't look like much here, right? Generally under 1/10 of an inch, a few hundredths at best. And then the heavier totals across the southern border, the southeastern corner of our state, and into northern Mexico. The rainfall totals there over 2 inches. Much of Arizona, at least over the higher terrain, 1/4, 1/2 inch. Your amount will vary, of course. Could see more than that in a localized location. But we will probably see the WPC guys increase these values quite notably in future updates. We really are starting to see some convincing signs of a noted pattern change way out there toward the end of this upcoming week. And we're going to talk about that in more detail right now as we get to the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go. The GFS, the 06Z run. This is valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars. It's about 18,000 feet off the ground. High pressure sits to the west of us, and for now, that's just going to result in a dry west or northwesterly flow, which is basically the opposite of what we want to see this time of year. So what it means down at the surface for the rest of the day today, sunny, dry, not quite as hot as we've been seeing earlier in the week. Highs about 105 to 109. I know that's still hot, and that's still a couple of degrees above average, but it's absolutely not as hot as it could be this time of year, as you very well know. For tonight, clear sky. The air mass is a little bit drier. Overnight lows might just dip into the upper 70s in the coolest locations, mid and upper 80s in the urban core, unfortunately. And then tomorrow, more the same, sunny, dry, highs right around 110. Let's keep it going. This is Monday, and the pattern is going to very slowly change with time. That ridge to the west continues to drift west and weakens as it does. We'll see another ridge start to reestablish itself across the southwest, maybe north of the state or toward the Four Corners. Now, initially on Monday, I still think we're under westerly flow for the most part. We're dry. High temperatures should top out somewhere around 105 to 110 here in the lower deserts. There might be a few clouds, and there could actually be a couple of showers and thunderstorms developing over eastern Arizona, the higher terrain of the White Mountains there, but far away from us. Tuesday, the flow is starting to switch more out of the east and southeast as that ridge drifts closer to the Four Corners. And so at least initially, some monsoonal moisture gets cranked up there over the eastern rim country, the eastern mountains, maybe as far west as southern Gila County, and maybe even northeastern Pinal County. That's about as close as it'll get to us. I could see some gusty winds maybe on Tuesday night getting into the lower deserts, including Phoenix. We'll watch for that. But initially, that's how it works in the monsoon. You know, once it's been dry for a while, it takes a while to get the atmosphere juiced up again. So, yeah, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms in the eastern third of the state. Maybe some gusty winds Tuesday night. High temperatures around here, around 105 to 108 or so. Let's keep going. This is Wednesday. Temps down a couple more degrees. Partly sunny sky. The moisture is getting deeper here over the state. And so the humidity levels are coming up. As mentioned, the temperatures are coming down. And we will at least call for a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the lower deserts on Wednesday afternoon. Better chances exist over the higher terrain. And this will be kind of serving as a transitional period, Tuesday night through Wednesday night. But by Thursday, deeper moisture is really going to start to get in here. Not only do we have a ridge that's setting up somewhere north of the state, either over Utah, the Four Corners, Colorado, and that's going to set an easterly flow. But we also have a rather pronounced inverted trough, or perhaps even a closed low, that's going to be approaching from northern Mexico. And so showers and thunderstorms on the increase on Thursday. They should be scattered across the higher terrain, maybe even scattered too numerous there, with showers and thunderstorms moving into the lower deserts on Thursday afternoon. Now, some models, including the Europeans, suggest we could actually have an early morning shower and storm event on Thursday. And so that's always possible as the deeper moisture kind of comes on in. There's sort of a boundary when that happens. And if it occurs overnight and acts on that heat from the lower deserts here, especially the valley, we can always get those nocturnal or those early morning showers and storms firing up. That's a possibility. It's way too far out to say with any confidence in the specifics of that. But we'll just call for a broader risk of showers and storms in here on Thursday. But what's really interesting is those temperatures continue to drop, probably around 99 to 103 for the high on Thursday. Friday, this inverted trough or maybe a closed low may just stall out across northern Mexico and southern Arizona. And if that happens, when we have seen that historically, it has certainly led to some more organized shower and thunderstorm activity and more long-lasting shower and storm activity for a longer period of time. And so we're going to watch for this as a possibility. Now, keeping in mind, this is, we're here on Saturday. We're talking about an event here on Friday of this upcoming week. So things are, of course, subject to change. But right now, preponderance of model guidance shows this inverted trough or perhaps a closed low sitting just south of us. Stronger winds aloft, cooler air aloft. And so we'll call it partly sunny with scattered to numerous showers and thunderstorms here on Friday. The latest deterministic European has a high temperature of 90 degrees here on Friday. Even the deterministic GFS is at 100. Now, am I saying it's going to be 90 on Friday for the high? No. But definitely the trend in temperatures is down, and we could have a day here where we struggle to make 100 degrees on Friday if all of this verifies. Certainly temperatures are looking to be below average, and we'll take that. I mean, anytime in July you can be below average and have decent chances of storms, yeah. Take that every day that ends in Y. All right, let's keep it going. This is a week from today, Saturday, the 19th. And you can see there's that inverted trough. It's just parked to our south. High pressure sits to the north. Pretty good easterly flow here. So any storms that fire up across the higher terrain will be pushed toward the lower deserts. And so the potential will kind of shift from the early and middle part of the week from gusty winds and blowing dust to more of a potential for strong thunderstorms that could produce heavy rain and maybe some flooding or flash flooding. We'll have to watch for that anytime you have a scenario like this. The one thing I will note is we could get into that kind of monsoon rhythm where if one day is very active, let's say right now the GFS and much of our guidance says Friday will be active, Saturday could be less so as the atmosphere is kind of worked over. But then on Sunday, this is the 20th, with that inverted trough just sitting here over the southwest, we're still in a very unsettled, unstable air mass. So Sunday could be active once again with numerous showers and thunderstorms, particularly in the afternoon or evening hours. Although in a setup like this, they could theoretically occur any time of the day or night. And temperatures would remain below average. How far below average really depends on the number of showers and storms around and cloud cover. But undoubtedly, high temperatures would still be anywhere from, let's say, 98 to 105 degrees across the lower deserts. Now, obviously, the trade-off is humidity levels will be higher. All right, let's keep it going out. 10 days, this is Monday the 21st. And again, if this is right, that the inverted trough finally begins to shift a little bit further to the west, which would mean the axis of deeper moisture and heavier shower and thunderstorm activity and better instability and all that would be maybe across the Colorado River Valley and up into southern Nevada and maybe even points north from there, perhaps even up into the Great Basin. But we would still at least have a chance at showers and storms. But traditionally, when we are on the other side of those inverted troughs, conditions kind of stabilize for a day or two. But needless to say, a big shift in the weather pattern looks to be occurring. We'll keep you posted on that. Here's a look at rainfall for Phoenix off the GFS ensemble. This goes out through the 26th of the month. And the amounts here up around 0.4 of an inch. European ensemble is coming up as well. And look at that control member. It's over an inch. So, and all of the members, or almost all of the members, are now keying in on at least some measurable rain here through the time period. So, looks like the monsoon is finally going to kick in here. And that'll be great news. Great news for us here as well. We love to see that. And you know what? It's going to be great news for Ryan Seek. Get that camera ready. All right. Temperatures off the national blend of models. Now, we're going to stay above average today, tomorrow, Monday, possibly even Tuesday. But then temperatures will trend down. And I will tell you this. If these deterministic model runs play out as advertised, I guarantee you it will be cooler than what is shown here. But even at that, at face value, high temperatures dipping below average. I haven't had my coffee yet. Dipping below average by the end of the week and this weekend. All right, that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here on Monday morning, but updates before that if necessary. And if we continue with these model trends as they are, we'll probably come back for a Sunday morning update. Why not? If you enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. Really helps us out in the old algorithm. What else helps us out is when you support the channel directly by clicking that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube and making a contribution to us, or even better than that, via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's GROFF show@gmail.com via PayPal. Also, our Venmo is linked up in the description as well. All right, the executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out, blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, likely Adriana related. It's all linked up down in the description, so check it out. Our streaming station, available 24/7, 365. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music over there. Have a lot of fun with that. It is the most chaotic mix of music you'll ever hear, we guarantee you. And so, again, that's linked up down below, so you can check that out. A multimedia empire we have here. Also want you to check out a friend of the channel, The Courtroom Files. Much different content from what we do, but great content. Much better content than what we do. More, there's just a wealth, an endless cornucopia of content over there. So check him out, The Courtroom Files. And you will not regret it. All right. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support, so greatly appreciated. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and have yourselves a delightful rest of your Saturday.